Hello everyone, it's Scott here from AnimeBlurayUK, and today I'll be unboxing the limited edition Blu-ray release of The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2, which has been released into the UK via Crunchyroll. Starting off with the front of the box, we have one of the key visuals from The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2, and as you can see it features notable characters such as Naofumi, Philo and Raptalia, as well as a few other characters that make their debut appearance within the second season of The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero. And what you'll also notice is that there's no stickers or attachments to the front of the actual packaging, as instead it's a leaflet that goes around the actual box. So there you saw the spine, and then on the back we have the back end of that leaflet that I mentioned before, that features a synopsis of the second season of the series, the details of what's included in the bonus features, a couple of screenshots, and a few technical details such as English and Japanese audio with English subtitles and the region format of this particular release. On the top of the box, we have The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2, which is slightly different logo to the one on the spine. So the one on the top of the box is realistically the proper logo for Season 2, while the one on the spine is more the sort of generic logo and possibly match up with the first season. Sadly, I do not own the first season of the actual series, so I can't do a side-by-side comparison. When The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero came out, I wasn't too much of a fan, so I ended up just getting the standard edition releases. But then when I actually got around to watching the series, I really enjoyed it, so much so that I went out and bought all of the light novels, started reading that, and then obviously when Season 2 got announced, I was like, okay, I want the limited edition, here we go. One other thing you'll notice as well is I'm struggling to get actually into the art box packaging of this. It's wrapped up in that very thick, hard cellophane that's quite difficult to unwrap, especially if you're not wanting to damage any of the actual contents or the art box. So it's a bit different to what you'd normally expect from a Blu-ray or DVD case, or even Anime Limited's design. It's a really tough and resilient sort of wrapping. I see other people on YouTube that tend to just stick a knife in and slice it down. I'm a bit more careful. I don't know if this is a more careful option, as sometimes you can bend it when pulling, but regardless, I finally managed to get in. So moving that aside, let's take a bit of a closer look. And one thing you'll notice is that the actual front cover of the box, and I think the back as well, has sort of a reflective shine to it. So depending on the angle of the light will depend on sort of how prominent the artwork is. And as you'll notice, that piece of paper leaflet sleeve is wrapped around the actual entirety of the art box and slightly glued in on the back. So I'm not going to remove that, as I once removed one and end up damaging the art box. So I'll leave that for the time being. Now obviously, this being a limited edition set, we do get a variety of contents. So we have the limited edition art book on the right, and then on the left we have the box that contains the art card and the soft cover poster that features Philo and Raptalia. So let's have a look at that first. So here we have the actual cloth poster featuring Raptalia and Philo. It's all folded up in a little plastic bag, so we'll take a look at that at the moment. But first up, let's have a look at the actual art cards that you get included. So I think there's about 6 or 7 different art cards included, 3 of which, or 4 of which, feature artwork of the main cast of characters, Naofumi, Raptalia, Philo, sort of wrapped up in chains in like a birdcage scenario or sword scenario. Each one is sort of relevant to their current circumstances and being chained down from all of the actual activities and elements of the series. If you've seen the show or read the light novel or even read the manga, you'll have an idea of, you know, why this is happening. Very unique, very weird, but it is what it is, and it's what we get in this set. Next up, we then have a couple of art cards featuring sort of some really cool artwork of the different characters or groups of characters within this second season. Very unique again. Not exactly what I expected. I expected more visual artwork from the series itself, but I guess it's kind of different and looks interesting. And the actual art cards themselves were like kind of thick cardboard rather than the thin glossy material, which is nice. So next up we have the Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2 cloth poster. Now, this is actually a little bit smaller than I expected and also a bit thinner. The colours on the actual cloth poster, I don't know if it'll come across in the video or not, are not as deep as what I expected from the series. So Philo's hair, instead of being a strong blonde, is kind of more like a tame blonde. And same with Raptalia's hair. Instead of being ginger, it's more like a tinted red kind of thing. And same with the logo as well. And you'll also notice, I mean, that's a Blu-ray-sized box. Well, it's not a box, it's the art book. Blu-ray-sized art book next to it and gives you sort of comparison on the side. But there's also nowhere to hang it up. There's no hooks or threads or poles. Some cloth posters, you get poles so you can hang up like a tapestry on the wall. Others will come with holes so that you can put string through it to hang up. This one is just material throughout with no sort of holes. So you could iron it to get rid of the creases and put it in a frame of some kind, but it's a bit different to what I initially expected it would be. And again, I also expected it to be quite big, but that's not the case. But it's still nice, I guess, a different inclusion from, you know, art books and art cards. So with that being said, we move on to the actual art book. So there's over 80 pages, I believe, of this, all of which are separated in different categories. So this part will contain spoilers for Season 2 of The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero. So if you've not seen Season 2, back out now, because you will see spoilers. So yeah, the first portion of the book is basically character bios with various different character portraits of the different characters featured within the series and some of the outfits that they may wear. And as we go through the art book, there's sort of different content that you'll see, such as background visuals, cast interviews, and that kind of thing. The material of it is kind of a glossy art book, a bit like what Anime Limited do with their art books from time to time. But it feels, in my personal opinion, a bit better than their art books. It feels like there's more content to explore and look at. I know Anime Limited books tend to vary from time to time, where some will contain lots of different information and others will just be screenshots from the actual series. This is the latter, or the former, should I say, where there's more content in there than you know what to sort of do with. And even when the series has finished, you'll still be looking through this book time and time again, finding out new information. So now that we've had a look at the art book, it's time to look at the Blu-ray release itself. So as you can see, it features a different visual on the front of the box compared to the actual art box, and it also includes a carded sleeve, which is a nice touch. So on the spine, we have The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2, which is completely different to the other spine on the right-hand side. Now, I believe the reason why the spines are different between the two is that gap would have been used to put a security tag in, if it was a traditional Blu-ray release going on the shelf, assuming they'd used the right case. But that aside, the back of the box is pretty much exactly the same as the info sheet leaflet that was included on the actual back of the art box itself. And then once you get rid of the carded sleeve, in terms of removing it at least, you'll notice that it's actually a different visual on the front of the Blu-ray box, but the back and the spine are exactly the same. So there's quite a lot of visuals going around in terms of the packaging and things like that. Moving on the inside, we have both Blu-ray and DVD variations of the series included inside this limited edition release, with the DVD discs featuring Raptalia and the Blu-ray discs featuring Naofumi, with each corresponding side of where the discs would be being the respective character of those discs, which is quite a nice touch. So that's pretty much what you can expect from the limited edition Blu-ray and DVD combo pack release of The Rising of S.H.I.E.L.D. Hero Season 2, which is available in the UK via Crunchyroll.